This is not sort of a type of trip you'd sell off a brochure. The guys knew what they were in for. They understood that it's going to be tricky and hard and challenging. But you know, the place is legendary. You know, it really is a sort of if you're a sports fishing person, it's a bucket list place to go to. I first heard of Mount Vema through, there was a boat called Mecca that went there about 20 or 30 years ago, and then it kept sort of propping up over the years. You know, I'd hear stories from commercial fishermen that had been there and these legendary big yellowtail that you can catch there. We had a few sort of missed attempts at going there with various boats and just not missing the season and missing the weather gaps. So when Mark brought his boat down from Seychelles this year, January, I decided, you know, that give it another shot. I knew that there were tons of people who just couldn't travel anywhere, would be super amped for his trip, you know, like really frothing just to get out of Cape Town and go and do something. And more importantly, that we would have a period of time to do the trip. It's a very tricky thing to get right is the weather. So the place is very exposed, so to make it workable on the type of boat that we're going on, you need that weather window, and for that you need a waiting period. So I could easily say to all the guys who are interested, look guys, we've got a 6-week window where we're going to watch the weather intently, and when I say we're leaving in 2 days time, we're leaving in 2 days time. There were 5 of us in total, and then the 2 crew. From morning till the evening, the fish are on the bite, you know. So at any given time, there'll be people on fish, really. So it's quite chaotic. You know, we had 1 or 2 fish that we'd always keep for the pot, or some sushi or sashimi. You know, we cooked some of the yellowtail. We took a braai with. We are South African after all. So yeah, we were very spoilt, but most of it was catch and release. Mount Vema is in international water, so unfortunately it's unregulated. We did see a Chinese trawler when we were there. Greenpeace did a dive there about 3 or 4 years ago to assess the condition of the reef, and they found a lot of ghost fishing gear on the mount. It would be phenomenal if a place like that could get protection, but it's in international waters and incredibly hard to do. What we'd wanted to do the first day when we got there, if we'd found that main pinnacle, was drop a line down on it so that we could mark it and then be able to plan the drifts properly. But we eventually found it on the 4th day, the last day, and we managed to spear some good fish on that pinnacle. It was incredible though, seeing the real bass monster yellowtail that were there. When we were diving, we were anything from 2 to probably 2 to 2.5 to 3 knots of current, which is a lot of current. So it made it very, very challenging. You've got to try and keep up with the current, and to get down to 20 meters where the fish are, you know, normally you have a very slow breathe up process, you know, where you try and calm yourself, use as little oxygen as possible, then make your dive, and then sit at the bottom, and the fish will typically circle back towards you. Whereas this was super challenging. You know, you had to swim against the current to try and stay on top of the pinnacle, then dive, then sit and wait, and then the yellowtail would just slip away into the current. You know, the fish we saw down there were definitely, you know, it's subjective, but they were of world record size, for sure. This specific yacht is a converted racing yacht that lost its mast and has been converted into a trawler. So it's not specifically set up for a fishing trip like that. So we changed quite a lot to the boat. We added rod holders, we added the sonar. So all of that happened under pressure, and the owner, thankfully, and his team, they did a fantastic job of doing it in a very short time. My view is always the adventure begins when something goes wrong. My highlight was definitely my 35 kg yellowtail. You know, it's unless I go back there, it's unlikely that I would catch that same size, species and size again. And it happened on day 2, and once I caught that fish, I almost felt like I was done. I was like, I came here for something that I wanted, and at that point I could have gone home happy, you know.